Sunday was the final game of the St. Paul Saints season, final game of the minor league season for the Minnesota Twins and their affiliates. There you see Toby Gardenhire pregame. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk some about the Saints, talk some about the entire system from this year. First off, I want to lead in with the opening day lineup for the Saints. This was on March 31st. Some of these guys no longer in the org. Some of these guys big-time contributors on the Twins now. And then there you see their lineup today for the final game of the season. You know, some rehabbers from the major leagues and some guys I think we can confidently expect to have a big impact next year. But before we get into the highlights, Sean Aronson did a great job of detailing how the Saints season has gone.
Of course, they're not going to win the overall second half title because as you see the games back, they're 6.5. But my friends, the St. Paul Saints, the 2023 West Division champions overall, we should celebrate.
Pop some bottles.
Let's do it. They won it all. That's right. For about 100 years, the International League did one thing. They gave a playoff spot to the team that won their division over the entirety of the season, and the Saints did that. Then they went and changed the rules this year. And now we don't make the playoffs. But yes, we have, as the St. Paul Saints, the best record overall in the West Division. Thanks a lot, Major League Baseball. Way to mess it up for us.
He does a great job. Long-time voice of the Saints. But as you see here is the first half standings. The Saints were a half game back in their division of Iowa in the first half. In the second half, 2 games back of Nashville. But you put it together on the full season, and the Saints had the best record in their division. Unfortunately, again, that does not matter. It is the overall league first half and second half champions, which both came from the East Division. So nobody in the West qualifies for the playoffs for the International League. Unfortunately, the Saints got screwed. The Saints got screwed, basically, is what it comes down to, unfortunately. But we still had one more game to watch. We still had one more Jair Camargo shuffle here because he goes deep with a 2-run homer, his 21st of the season, which ties him with Chris Williams for the team lead on the season. Jair Camargo, who is, I believe, not only, I think he's going to be a free agent once again this offseason, a minor league free agent. So the Twins are going to need to add him to the 40-man roster to either that or protect him from the Rule 5 draft. He's could be his last game in the system either way. But you saw the salute, the shuffle, the best home run trot in the system. I love this guy so much. I think about Camargo. I think about a guy who hits the piss out of the ball, has a giant smile on his face half of the times, risen up his teammates, having the best time. I just have super enjoyed Jair Camargo. This game, 1-run game, bottom of the 9th inning, Saints down to their last strike, and yes, the rehabbing Byron Buxton in this game. He hits a warning track fly ball. Just misses it. Buxton goes 0 for 4. And I mean, that's another big thing with the Saints season being over is that these rehabbers have nowhere to go now. But with their season over, I want to share my hitter and pitcher of the year. Hitter of the year, Andrew Stevenson. Pitcher of the year, Cody Funderburk, which might be kind of a surprise that I went with a reliever, but we'll talk about some stats here. Stevenson, I mean, my goodness. This guy was incredible for the Saints. 16 homers and 44 stolen bases, a 317 average, a 394 OBP, a 522 slugging, OPS north of 900. That's everybody with at least 70 or more hits for the Saints. Funderburk, again, maybe that's a little controversial to pick him since he only threw 52 innings for the Saints, but this was a team that really struggled on the mound this year. And, you know, there were some other candidates I considered, but I think Funderburk, even just as a reliever, was so good for them. And since we're kind of going through these, might as well mention my Wichita guys. Fajardo and Ole were my picks for them. On over to Cedar Rapids, it was Rosario and Lewis were my picks, and we talked about all these at the time of these teams playing their final game of the season. And then for the Mighty Muscles, it was Olivar and Ben Etheridge. And something, if you're a channel member that you saw in a Member Monday video, is all my picks for the kind of year-end awards. I'll share those now with everybody here as well. You see Junior Severino is my pick for minor league hitter of the year. He split time between Wichita and St. Paul, which is why he wasn't, picked for either of those for the individual team awards. And then Lewis was my pick for the starting pitcher of the year. And you see the other guys there. On over to the bullpen, and maybe this influenced the Funderburk thing a little bit. He was my number 1 pick for reliever of the year. And just kind of the guy that I think of when I think of who is a Saints pitcher that really sticks out in my mind from this season. Woods Richardson had a great second half, though. And then here is my Twins minor league all-star team for this season. So I just wanted to pass those along again. We talked about those more in detail in that Member Monday video, and I might do a bigger video this off-season over the winter, kind of sharing some highlights of those guys and just sort of trying to put more of a spotlight on those players. But thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks to all the channel members. Really appreciate y'all. Here are the premium members. We'll talk again soon.